Live, the news you count on. Gulf Coast News at 3 on NBC.
And right now you're taking a look at Tropical Storm Melissa in the Caribbean. Our Gulf Coast meteorologists are tracking the storm as it treks west. Thanks for counting on Gulf Coast News. I'm Megan Miller.
And I'm Alex Howard. Let's go right out to our Gulf Coast meteorologist, Sarah Blue. Sarah, now that Melissa has formed, do we have a clear idea as to where she could be heading?
Well, Alex and Megan, this is still a very up in the air forecast, and we're in the early stages of the game right now. What I can tell you is it has been gaining strength since yesterday. Now, it's holding about the same as our 11 a.m. update to our most recent update. About 50-mile-per-hour winds in the center of this thing. This is a very wide wind field, over 100 miles wide. It is sliding off to the west and producing some decent-sized waves in the center. Our latest cone is showing it continuing at tropical storm strength until the weekend, and then eventually would strengthen into a hurricane. Now, you'll notice this cone is more of a circle. That's because this forecast is still very up in the air. We're tracking a lot of moving parts. There are three big possibilities that could happen. As this tracks west and gets to the center of that circle or that cone that I just showed you, it may try to continue off to the west toward Central America, or it could follow the orange or even the pink arrows. If it were to head up to the north, it would likely become a stronger storm, whereas if it continued along the green path, it would likely stay slightly weaker and meander through parts of the Caribbean. That's still up in the air. We'll get more information as we see this develop more and see where it's going to go. We're tracking lots of warm waters, so as this moves into very deep, very warm waters, that's going to help it strengthen up over the next little bit. Just to recap, in the center of this thing, about 14-foot waves. We've already had some alerts get issued for parts of Haiti and Jamaica. We're not seeing a big risk to Florida, but again, it's still very, very early on. We'll get more information on this, so just stay aware, but don't be alarmed. I'll have a look at our local forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Sarah, thank you. Breaking news, we just got a photo of 2 of the 3 people who died in a crash in Cape Coral. You're looking at Norma Ralston on the left and Gary Galather on the right. The third person died in the crash on Burnt Store Road was Laura Beasley.
The crash happened on the 2-lane road last night, right here near Janice Road. Gulf Coast News reporter Natasha Casal is in Cape Coral learning how this crash happened.
It's horrible to see. It's horrible to be in Cape Coral and see all the crashes going on.
People in Cape Coral thinking about the 3 people who died in a crash last night on Burnt Store Road North and Janice Road. Police say this involved 2 trucks and an SUV.
The southbound vehicle crossed center and they hit the rear tire of the of vehicle 2. And they were able to swerve, and then the vehicle going southbound made impact with the vehicle that was directly behind them.
Norma Jean Ralston, seen here on the left, and Gary Gallagher on the right were in the SUV and died. Police said one of the truck drivers, Laura Lee Beasley, also died. CCPD says speed was not a cause of this crash. One Cape Coral resident told our team a lot of drivers tend to speed down on Burnt Store Road, which is 2 lanes here.
Well, my experience, again, I grew up here, born and raised, so the road's always been fast. It's never changed speed. The thing that I've noticed the most has been, I guess, the people driving. I think we always need to calm down a little bit.
In Cape Coral, Natasha Casal, Gulf Coast News.
And many of you are asking, when will this stretch of Burnt Store Road get widened to 4 lanes? We're still at least 6 years away from that happening. Crews will add 2 lanes from Van Buren Parkway past the Charlotte County line, about 5 miles. Construction is expected to happen in phases between 2031 and 2035.
And more breaking news, Hendry County deputies are investigating a deadly shooting at a Clewiston nightclub. The shooting happened Sunday morning at Club Gossip. Deputies say they saw several people in cars leaving that nightclub. 32-year-old Jackaris Hudson died there. The sheriff's office says 2 other people were hurt. They're looking to speak with anyone who was there and knows what happened.
You're taking a live look at the Midpoint Bridge. A pretty slow go getting into Fort Myers for many drivers today. So look at that eastbound lane. It's expected to reopen in the next hour. It's been closed today since 9:30. So it looks like they're doing some work. Traffic is flowing okay, but prepare for some slowdowns. Crews have been installing a weather stem device to monitor severe weather. The bridge should be fully reopened by 4 o'clock.
Lee County Commissioners voted today to rename the Lee Civic Center to honor the late Commissioner Mike Greenwell. It will now be called the Mike Greenwell Regional Park. Greenwell died earlier this month after losing his battle with cancer. He was also remembered for the years he played with the Boston Red Sox. Over the weekend, a celebration of life was held for Greenwell at JetBlue Park. Greenwell's son spoke before commissioners and approved of the renaming of the Civic Center this morning.
Obviously, the Lee County Civic Center was a massive item for my dad. He really wanted it to be big, grand, something the community could be proud of. We couldn't be more honored to have it named after him.
Flags are being flown at half-staff until sundown today. Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to appoint someone to Greenwell's seat next election. And the Lee County Commissioners said yes to providing nearly $19 million in funding for the Legacy Point complex. Crews officially broke ground for the affordable housing community last week. The community is located along Edison Avenue near the Fort Myers Stars complex. The community is part of the Greater Dunbar Initiative and will replace the former Southward Village. Legacy Point is funded by the Community Redevelopment Block Grant Disaster Recovery Fund.
Lee County Commissioners approved 2 contracts today to repair damage along Estero Boulevard on Fort Myers Beach. Storm surge flooded the boulevard during Hurricane Ian. Nearly $10.8 million in contracts were approved for 2 companies to fix the sidewalks, roads, and other safety areas along Estero Boulevard. Lee County Commissioners also said yes to a nearly $1.2 million funding package to support rebuilding the San Carlos Maritime Park on San Carlos Island right before you get to Fort Myers Beach. The money will go toward the design and permitting of the park. The park was known to be a hub for the shrimping industry until Hurricane Ian wiped it out. Commissioner David Mullica floated the idea of adding a public boat ramp at the site. Instead, the Maritime Park will serve as a commercial and emergency operations hub.
It's quite odd, the circumstances, given that this aircraft was left on the side of the grass and the person decided to leave the aircraft.
The FAA is investigating right now after a plane slid off the runway at the Naples airport this morning. But the pilot, well, they're nowhere to be found. We know there was fog around 3 a.m. that could have made it harder to land. Our Gulf Coast News reporter Alexa Velez is live from the Naples airport right now. Alexa, we know officials have released the pilot.
Yes, they have, and it is quite the mystery, Alex. The Naples airport staff tells me that the plane was found in the grass just around over there off the runway, but the pilot and the passenger just left it there. Airport security found the plane nose down in the grass around 3 in the morning. The airport tells me 2 people were inside the plane. The pilot, who the FAA has identified as Brianna Brown, and a man. Flight tracking data shows the plane circled Page Field in Fort Myers 4 times, then flew towards Naples Airport, circled 5 more times before landing. The tower closes each night from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., so the lights would have been off the runway when the plane arrived.
Of course, it's very dark in the morning. This airport here has pilot-controlled lighting. In order for us to turn those on, we need to operate the radio in a certain way. This person may not have known to turn on the lights. Again, I don't have word whether those were activated at that time or not. It's very hard to land an aircraft with no lights on the runway.
The 2 people asked security to open the gate so they could leave, which is standard during night hours. Naples Airport tells me they can't say if it's suspicious, but it certainly is unusual. Security found paperwork linked to a company named Sun Sky Aviation. We know the plane came from Fort Lauderdale. The FAA is investigating, but when we reached out, we got an auto reply saying that they're short-staffed and won't be answering because of the government shutdown. As soon as we get any new information, we'll be sure to let you know. But for now, reporting from the Naples airport, I'm Alexa Velez, Gulf Coast News.
Breaking news, a prosecutor in Paris says the crown jewels stolen in a heist at the Louvre were estimated to be worth 88 million euros or $102 million. Prosecutors say about 100 investigators are involved as police hunt for the suspects who disguise themselves as construction workers Sunday. The Louvre is the world's most visited museum. Now people are questioning the museum's security and whether security cameras might have failed. A San Francisco-based insurance company is coming to Florida to offer a new approach to policy writing, now involving artificial intelligence. Stand Insurance is a relative newcomer, but has made some big strides by taking on high-risk areas in California prone to wildfires. Stand Insurance received approval from the Office of Insurance Regulation. They plan to start making offers to Citizens property insurance holders starting in December. Experts say using AI in the insurance industry is an emerging trend.
If you think about artificial intelligence as having all of the information at its fingertips, it won't make the same kind of mistakes humans would make, right? It's not going to forget something. It's not going to miss something.
Industry officials emphasized the need for careful implementation of AI. Stand Insurance says they're planning to use AI technology to assess the risk of individual homes.
The government shutdown is showing no signs of ending, and the situation could possibly be getting worse. Ahead on Gulf Coast News at 3:30, the latest as the shutdown enters its 4th week.
And a medical breakthrough is raising hope for people who are legally blind. More on this electronic eye implant next at 3.